Imagine spending 40 years working hard, saving every paycheck, paying off your home, and finally reaching retirement. Only to realize that the biggest threat to your financial future isn't a stock market crash. It isn't inflation. It isn't even running out of money. It's a handful of small mistakes that quietly chip away at your wealth year after year. What's surprising is that these mistakes aren't made by people who failed financially. They're often made by retirees who did everything right. Meanwhile, wealthy retirees, those who stay financially comfortable well into their 70s, 80s, and beyond, tend to avoid these mistakes almost instinctively. The good news? Every one of these mistakes is preventable. And by the end of this video you'll know exactly what they are, and more importantly, how to avoid them before they cost you thousands. Or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. Let's start with a mistake that seems harmless at first, but quietly destroys more retirement plans than most people realize. Introduction. Retirement isn't just about how much money you've saved. It's about how well you protect what you've spent your entire life building. Many people believe retirement is the finish line. In reality, it's the beginning of a completely different financial journey. Your paycheck stops. Your investments need to last. Unexpected expenses become more common. And every financial decision suddenly carries much more weight. That's why wealthy retirees think differently. They don't necessarily have magical investment strategies or secret financial tricks. Instead, they consistently avoid a few costly mistakes that slowly drain wealth from everyone else. Today, we're counting down 8 of the biggest retirement mistakes, and some of them might surprise you. Let's begin with number 8. Mistake 8, treating retirement like a permanent vacation. After decades of hard work, it's completely natural to want to relax. Many people dream about traveling non-stop, eating out whenever they want, buying that dream RV, or finally enjoying all the things they postponed for years. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with enjoying retirement. The problem begins when every day starts feeling like a vacation. Vacations are expensive because they're temporary. Retirement, however, may last 20 or even 30 years. That's a huge difference. Many new retirees spend heavily during their first 5 years. They renovate the house. Upgrade the car. Take several expensive vacations. Help adult children financially. Buy recreational toys they'll rarely use. Individually. None of these decisions seems disastrous. But together, they create a spending habit that's difficult to reverse. Wealthy retirees understand something most people overlook. Retirement isn't about spending more. It's about spending intentionally. They still travel. They still enjoy life. But they know the difference between meaningful experiences and expensive habits. Instead of asking, "Can I afford this today?" they ask, "Will I still be comfortable if I continue spending like this for the next 20 years? That one question changes everything. Because retirement isn't won by the people who spend the most. It's won by those who create a lifestyle they can happily sustain for decades. Transition. Speaking of long-term thinking. The next mistake is one that quietly steals thousands of dollars every single year, and many retirees don't even notice it's happening. Mistake 7, ignoring small expenses that slowly drain wealth. Most people worry about major expenses. Medical bills. Market crashes. Unexpected emergencies. But surprisingly, that's usually not where retirement wealth disappears. Instead, it's the dozens of small monthly expenses that slowly eat away at financial security. Unused subscriptions. High cable packages. Extra insurance policies. Bank fees. Impulse purchases online. Daily takeout. Frequent convenience spending. None of them feels significant. But together, they can quietly cost hundreds, or even thousands, of dollars every year. Here's what wealthy retirees do differently. At least once or twice a year, they perform a personal financial audit. They review every recurring expense, every subscription, every automatic payment, every insurance premium. And they ask one simple question. Does this still improve my life? If the answer is no, they eliminate it without hesitation. This isn't about being cheap. It's about protecting freedom. Every unnecessary dollar you spend today is one less dollar working for your future. The wealthiest retirees understand that financial security isn't only created by earning more. It's also protected by wasting less. Small leaks sink big ships. And small expenses can quietly sink even large retirement portfolios. Transition. Now let's move to a mistake that's far more emotional than financial. Ironically, it's one of the hardest mistakes for loving parents and grandparents to avoid. Mistake 6, constantly rescuing adult children financially. Every parent wants to help their children. That's completely natural. But there's an important difference between helping occasionally and becoming your adult child's emergency fund. Many retirees delay their own financial goals because they continue paying for things their grown children should eventually handle themselves. It might start with helping cover rent, then paying off credit card debt, helping with a car payment, covering unexpected bills, paying for vacations, or repeatedly giving just one more loan that never gets repaid. Each individual decision comes from love. But over time, these repeated rescues can quietly erode retirement savings. Wealthy retirees understand a difficult truth. Your retirement fund has one job: to support your retirement. Not everyone else's. That doesn't mean wealthy retirees never help family. They absolutely do. But they do it with clear boundaries. They decide in advance how much they can comfortably give without risking their own financial independence. Because they understand something incredibly important. Becoming financially dependent on your own children later in life is far more painful than saying no to one unnecessary request today. One of the greatest gifts parents can give their children isn't unlimited financial support. It's showing them what long-term financial responsibility actually looks like. Mistake 5, keeping too much money in cash. If you've spent your entire life being careful with money, this mistake can feel like the responsible thing to do. After all, cash feels safe. You can see it. You can access it anytime. And unlike the stock market, it doesn't seem to go up and down every day. But here's the problem. While your cash may not lose value on paper, it can quietly lose purchasing power every single year. Inflation doesn't make headlines every morning, yet it steadily raises the cost of groceries, healthcare, insurance, utilities, and nearly everything else retirees rely on. What bought you $100 worth of goods 10 years ago doesn't buy nearly the same amount today. That's why wealthy retirees rarely keep all of their retirement savings sitting in checking accounts or low-interest savings accounts. Instead, they build a balanced plan. They keep enough cash to cover emergencies and short-term expenses, but they also allow part of their portfolio to continue working for them through diversified investments that have the potential to outpace inflation over the long run. This doesn't mean taking unnecessary risks. In fact, it's often the opposite. Many wealthy retirees understand that being too conservative can become its own form of risk. Because if your money isn't growing at all, inflation slowly does the damage for you. The goal isn't to chase the highest returns. The goal is to preserve your purchasing power so your lifestyle doesn't quietly shrink over the next 20 or 30 years. The smartest retirees don't ask, "How can I avoid all risk?" They ask, "How can I manage risk without giving inflation an easy victory?" That small shift in thinking makes a remarkable difference over time. Transition. Protecting your money is important. But protecting your health may be even more valuable. Because the next mistake has the potential to become one of the most expensive retirement costs of all. Mistake 4, waiting until a health crisis to prioritize your health. Most people spend decades saving for retirement. Far fewer spend those same decades preparing their bodies to enjoy it. Here's an uncomfortable truth. The healthiest retirees often end up protecting their finances better than those who ignore their health. Why? Because poor health is expensive. Doctor visits, prescription medications, specialists, hospital stays, long-term care, home modifications. The costs can add up far faster than many people expect. Wealthy retirees understand something that isn't talked about enough. Exercise isn't just about staying fit. Healthy eating isn't just about losing weight. Regular checkups aren't just routine appointments. They're investments. Every walk around the neighborhood. Every strength training session. Every healthy meal. Every preventive screening has the potential to reduce future medical costs while improving your quality of life. And perhaps most importantly, good health gives you something money can never fully replace. Freedom. The freedom to travel. The freedom to enjoy your grandchildren. The freedom to stay independent. The freedom to wake up excited about the day instead of worrying about physical limitations. Many retirees focus almost entirely on growing their investment accounts. Wealthy retirees understand they have another account that's just as important. Their health account. And unlike money, once your health is gone, rebuilding it becomes much harder. So don't wait until your doctor tells you something is wrong. Take care of yourself while you still have the opportunity to enjoy the years you've worked so hard to reach. Transition. Now here's a mistake that surprises many people. It's incredibly common. It feels generous. And it often comes from the best intentions. Yet it quietly creates financial stress for thousands of retirees every year. Mistake 3, trying to impress others with your lifestyle. Retirement should be one of the most peaceful chapters of life. Yet many retirees unknowingly place pressure on themselves to maintain an image they no longer need. Maybe it's buying a luxury car because friends have one. Taking expensive vacations simply because everyone else seems to be traveling. Hosting lavish family gatherings every holiday. Renovating a perfectly good home just to keep up with the neighborhood. Or spending money simply because retirement is supposed to look a certain way. The truth is, financial confidence doesn't come from looking wealthy. It comes from knowing you're financially secure. Wealthy retirees understand this better than anyone. Many of them live surprisingly modest lives. They don't feel the need to prove their success through expensive possessions. Their confidence comes from having options. The option to retire comfortably. The option to handle unexpected expenses. The option to help loved ones when it truly matters. And the option to sleep peacefully at night without worrying about tomorrow's bills. Ironically, some of the wealthiest retirees you'll ever meet don't look wealthy at all. They quietly drive reliable vehicles. They avoid unnecessary upgrades. They focus on value instead of status. And because they aren't constantly trying to impress other people, they preserve the one thing that matters most. Financial freedom. Remember this. The people worth impressing rarely care what you own. And the people who care what you own usually aren't paying your bills. Retirement isn't a competition. It's a season of life meant to be enjoyed with peace, purpose, and confidence, not comparison. Mistake 2, believing retirement planning ends the day you retire. After working for decades, many people reach retirement believing the hard part is finally over. They think, I've saved enough. Now I can simply relax and let everything take care of itself. Unfortunately, retirement doesn't work that way. Retirement isn't a finish line. It's a new financial chapter, one that requires just as much attention as the years spent building your savings. Markets change. Tax laws evolve. Healthcare costs increase. Your spending habits shift. And your income needs may look very different at age 80 than they did at age 65. The retirees who enjoy long-term financial confidence don't create a retirement plan once and forget about it. They revisit it regularly. They review their investments. They adjust their spending when necessary. They rebalance their portfolio. They prepare for unexpected expenses before those expenses arrive. Think of retirement like driving across the country. You wouldn't set your GPS once and never look at the road again. You make small adjustments along the way. You take different routes when conditions change. And that's exactly how successful retirees approach their finances. They don't panic every time the market falls. They don't chase every new investment trend. Instead, they stay flexible, informed, and disciplined. Small adjustments made consistently over many years often produce far better results than one big decision made at the beginning of retirement. The goal isn't to create a perfect retirement plan. The goal is to create a plan that can adapt as life changes. Because life always changes. And the retirees who adapt are usually the ones who stay financially secure the longest. Transition. Now we've reached the number one mistake. Ironically, it isn't about investing. It isn't about taxes. And it isn't about how much money you have. It's about something far more powerful. The way you think about money itself. Mistake 1, living without a purpose for your money. Ask most people why they save for retirement, and the answer is simple. So I won't run out of money. That's certainly important. But wealthy retirees see money differently. To them, money isn't the goal. It's the tool. The real goal is freedom. Freedom to spend time with family. Freedom to travel. Freedom to volunteer. Freedom to pursue hobbies they've always postponed. Freedom to wake up each morning with excitement instead of financial anxiety. Here's where many retirees go wrong. They spend decades accumulating wealth. But never stop to ask what that wealth is actually supposed to accomplish. As a result, some become afraid to spend even when they can comfortably afford it. Others spend recklessly because they never created a long-term vision. Both extremes lead to unnecessary stress. The happiest and wealthiest retirees usually live somewhere in the middle. They know exactly what matters most to them. Every dollar they spend supports those priorities. They don't waste money trying to impress strangers. They don't deprive themselves out of fear. Instead, they spend intentionally. Every financial decision reflects the life they truly want to live. Because money without purpose often creates anxiety. Money with purpose creates confidence. And confidence is one of the greatest gifts retirement can offer. At the end of the day, retirement isn't measured by the size of your investment account. It's measured by the quality of the life your savings allow you to live. If you noticed yourself in one or two of today's mistakes, don't be discouraged. The truth is, almost every retiree has made at least one of them. What's important isn't being perfect. What's important is recognizing these habits early enough to change them. Remember, wealthy retirees aren't successful because they never make mistakes. They're successful because they identify small problems before those problems become expensive ones. A subscription canceled today. An unnecessary purchase avoided. A healthier lifestyle chosen. A better financial review scheduled. These may seem like small decisions. But over 10, 20, or even 30 years, small decisions often create extraordinary results. Your retirement isn't defined by a single financial choice. It's shaped by hundreds of thoughtful decisions made consistently over time. The good news is that every one of those decisions is still within your control. No matter where you are in your retirement journey. Today is always a good day to make a smarter choice than yesterday. Because protecting your retirement isn't about chasing perfection. It's about building lasting peace of mind, one smart decision at a time. If you found value in today's video, take a moment to ask yourself this question. Which of these 8 mistakes surprised you the most? Share your answer in the comments below. Your experience might help someone else avoid a costly retirement mistake. And if you enjoy practical, straightforward retirement advice designed to help you protect your wealth, reduce financial stress, and enjoy a more confident retirement,